Hello, hello, hello. This is Priscilla with Zilla Travel, coming at you live on a Saturday afternoon. So, how is everybody? I am doing just great. I just thought I would come and talk to you about an interesting topic that I've just been dancing around for the past few weeks. I decided to get serious about it since the borders of Ghana should be opening. They're scheduled to open September the 1st. Yay! I'm so happy. So they're working out their issues with the protocols, how they're going to do it. So, but our trip isn't until like the end of 2021, so we don't have anything to worry about. So now, let me just back up. My name is Priscilla, and I'm with Zilla Travel. I own a travel agency. I'm an independently owned travel agency, and I am a travel advisor. I specialize in luxury trips to Africa, the Caribbean, the United States, Mexico. Hopefully, we'll be able to go to Canada again one day. Hopefully, hopefully. So, for the live audience, thank you for joining me. Thank you for tuning in. If you're on Facebook, there should be a link that's telling you that you need to grant StreamYard permission to have access to your Facebook account in case you want to make some comments. So if you want me to see your comments, you've got to click that link, granting StreamYard permission to see your name, or at least to show your name, okay? Somebody's saying blessings to you, sister. Hi, how are you? Hit the link that's granting StreamYard permission because I can't see your name. All I can see is Facebook user. So you'll go right up to the top and just click the link. But yeah, let me finish my housekeeping. For the replay audience, all of my followers, when you tune in and make a comment, hit or type in hashtag replay and I will respond. So that way I'll know who's live and that way I'll know who's on the replay. And I'm just very happy to see all of you. I'm very happy that you're taking time out of your day to join me on a Saturday and listen to what I have to say. So I'm going to do one more thing. Like I do this every week since I'm like a one-woman show. I have to make sure that I'm live on Facebook. I can see it on my phone. And let's see, can I see it? Can I see it? Can I see it? Somebody can see it. Yeah, so I can see it. I still have to double check. So, blessings to whoever that is. Oh, she says she doesn't see the link. If you look in the post, it says, please grant StreamYard permission in the video. Yeah, at the top of the post, you should be able to see it. Please grant StreamYard permission. And then if you click that link, it'll allow Facebook to show your name. So blessings, whoever that is, I'll be able to tell later when I go and check my Facebook and stuff. I'm also doing something new today. I'm simulcasting. I am streaming on YouTube. So I have a YouTube channel and I would just go and upload those videos later. For you IG people, IG doesn't allow us to stream directly to them yet. Hopefully in the future they will, and then I will add it. So I generally go back after the fact and upload the videos to IGTV. So I'm very happy. Let's see. Somebody's. Hey, hello there, Chris. Hey, Chris, how you doing? So you see, if you're out there, just make sure you click that StreamYard, grant StreamYard permission, and then I'll be able to show you. So, okay, so this is just a topic that, has been just rolling around in my head, and I've sort of been circling the wagons on it. Now that the borders of Ghana are opening, I guess I can talk about it a little bit. So I'm giving just the backstory on my story. The backstory is I'm African American. I think that's obvious. And I always wanted to know my history, the history of my people. And let's see. Marcia, I thought that was you, but I just didn't want to say. See, it says Facebook user. I know it's Marcia. How are you? I'm glad to see you. Glad that you took time out of your day to join in. And congratulations! I see that you're a pastor now. Hopefully, I'll be coming to see you during your event. But I'd like to just thank everybody for joining. Remember, hashtag replay if you look at the video later, hashtag live if you're here now and you want to make a comment or ask a question. Just do that for me, please, please. So back to what I was saying. My story, I'm African American, obviously. Always wanted to know about my people, where they are, and you know, with all this technology, 23andMe and Ancestry. I actually did both of those DNA tests, but I like 23andMe better because it sort of gives you backstory on your you know, your history, you know, it sort of gives you like the backstory of the actual people who lived in the land at the time. And the land that I'm talking about is Africa. Surprise! I'm African! Woo! Okay, so the people on the African continent, well, mostly Ghana, consider us of the diaspora to be Africans, regardless of where we live, right? So many of us live in the U.S. and the Caribbean because of the transatlantic slave trade, and they invite us to come back, as a matter of fact. 2019 was the year of return, and they had this whole festival celebration deal, and they were just telling us to come back to Ghana, learn about your history. They really want us to come and contribute. So Ghana is really a new country. It's a budding country. It's got a really super economy going on, and they're inviting us, diasporans, to come back. Not just those who were displaced because of the transatlantic slave trade, but also there are other Africans out there who are maybe second or third generation because their parents or grandparents left whatever country they were in, you know, whether it was Ghana or Nigeria or some other country. They left, and they're the children, right? And so the children are here and they're like, I want to go back home. They're a lot more entrepreneurial than like some of us. So we grew up where we were brought up to, you know, you go to college, you go get a federal job or a civil service job with the state or county or city, or go into corporate America or be a lawyer. And then you have made it and you'll, you know, be able to exist, you know, but things have changed over the years, I got to tell you. And these younger people, they see things totally different. They're more entrepreneurial. I've always wanted to be an entrepreneur, and now I am. Better late than never, right? So I'm preparing to retire from my job in about a couple years, and I just started this business because, you know, I always wanted to, and now seems to be the time. So I guess I was born for a time such as this. So I'm just going to talk a little bit about moving to Ghana. For some people, they've actually expressed interest in actually relocating to the continent. So I'm, me, little old me, are just thinking about, oh, I'm just going to sell trips to Africa to be like for vacation and learn about history and so on and so forth. And here I start getting inquiries about investment opportunities, business opportunities. And I'm like, my goodness, some clients, people are calling me for their dream trip. Like in my generation, I'm going on my dream trip, but I'm going to bring my adult children, and they want to invest. I don't know how that is. I just want to go to learn about my history, but my children want to invest. So I'm like, wow, isn't that something? Of course, there are other folks in my generation group who want to invest as well, but you know, the minds of the people are different. So I said, I started doing my research. I started digging in, trying to figure out ways to invest. And because of the virus, you know, things were closed. So everybody was closed. People weren't, you know, they weren't in the office. They were like working from home, or they were furlough, or they were what have you. They just weren't available. Now they came back in because a couple of weeks ago, the government of Ghana reopened, but internally, so people were able to go back to work. The churches reopened. You know, they've actually done quite a good job with managing their coronavirus cases. So we're waiting to see what they're going to do with the opening up of the economy because they really want to promote tourism. But if you have a 14-day quarantine, that's really not going to entice people to come to the country on vacation, because that'll be your vacation if you're on quarantine. So they're trying to come up with ways. Of course, right now, that's what they're doing. They're trying to come up with ways to manage and detect and the disease, So there's some good news on the United States front. There's a new test coming out, and where it's very cheap. You can buy it, and it's like maybe $5, and people can test themselves. So that way people can, and then there's an app, it tracks you, the information goes where it needs to go to the Department of Health, and you can test yourself, and you'll know whether you don't have to wait all these days. So that COVID-19 test is putting a monkey wrench in a lot of people's travel plans. The country of Jamaica, right? They really have their protocols down. They're just not taking any chances at all. So they were one of the first Caribbean islands to reopen, and they have like full PPE when you get off the plane. You have to have a health visa before you get there. You have to have a COVID test, and they test you. They do 2 tests. They do the swab test of your nose, and they do the other tests, that the PCR test, which it takes a few days to come back. For them, it takes a few days to come back. For us, it's taken like a week plus. And they test you, and then you can stay in these coronavirus corridors, or these coronavirus resistant corridors where it's tourism focused, and you can't leave. You have an app on your phone; they can track you. But unless, of course, you have family, then you can have permission to go to that quadrant and visit. But I still believe they're tracking even the locals too, and tracking their movements, from district to district. But they're just not playing at all, and you must wear a mask. So you have to wear a mask. They will lock you up. They will fine you, and they will lock you up if you do not wear one. So. Now, to move on to what's going on in the country of Ghana, we're hoping when they open that we'll have a little bit more guidance on how they're going to manage the testing and everything for the virus. So, but I'm going to go into my slide deck. I have a slide deck, right? I have a slide deck because that's just what I do. I have a slide deck. I am the PowerPoint queen. So today's topic is moving to Ghana. Like I said, there are people who are interested in moving, and I will provide some value for those people who are interested in moving, relocating, most definitely. Since I'm actually the travel provider, well, it's actually many of them, but for the United States, I'm the front person doing all the coordinating of these visits. So, moving to Ghana, how are you going to do it, and what are you going to do when you get there, right? So here's some reasons why you would want to use me as a travel advisor, right? Or use a travel advisor in general. Because you have freedom. So you know what Corona is doing to people right now, and throwing a monkey wrench into people's travel plans, and just, it's just a nightmare trying to jump through all of the hoops and navigate all the wickets that are out there, right? Trying to figure out which hotels are open, what the rules are, for each destination has their own entry requirements, figuring that out, getting your test, knowing what the protocols are. Man, that's why travel advisors now, people are seeing the value. So using a travel advisor gives you freedom, right? Because you can actually save money when you're using a travel advisor versus, trying to do it yourself. If you want to do it yourself, have at it. But I think Corona has changed the perception of trying to go on one of these search engines or their online travel agencies, actually, and trying to book your own travel, because several of them went belly up, stranding travelers who purchased through them. And another thing about those online travel agencies is they are between you and the supplier. So the supplier is like the airline, a supplier like the hotel, or any other thing that excursion that you want to do when you get to your destination. So they're between you and these suppliers. You're using their platform. All of these various suppliers have different rules about canceling and postponing, right? But with these online travel agencies, they have their own rules that they insert right there in the middle, and they don't necessarily agree with what the travel providers are saying, or the suppliers. So there, when it comes to issues, it becomes a mess. And then good luck trying to find one of them when it's time, when you have a problem. Good luck with that. So using a travel advisor actually can help you save money, because we actually have relationships with suppliers where we can get concessions or deals, upgrades, things like that, where you as a consumer can't get that because you don't have that relationship. So we also provide personal attention, expert advice, and as for me, I provide service and satisfaction before, during, and after your trip. So that's where the freedom part comes from. Freedom from you trying to just pull your hair out, trying to put a complex trip together. Okay, how do you work with me? I do consultation. So right now I'm providing complimentary or courtesy discovery calls. And at that point, you get on my calendar. That's free. There's no charge for the discovery call. We sit down and we talk about your goals for your trip, talk about your budget, talk about how many people are going, what the vibe is of the trip, what your lifestyle is, what the expectations are, and if at that point we did both determine that we'd like be a good fit to work with each other, because that's exactly what it is. I'm providing professional services to you. At that point, you would sign a travel services agreement and the planning fee. Now, the planning fee is what covers all of the research and all of the shuffling around and making quotes and changing quotes and jumping from supplier to supplier, because that's what's happening right now. You can't just go with one supplier. Sometimes you have to go from one to the other. That's what the planning and research fee is. After that, you get a quote with your options, more than one quote, more than one option on what your goals are for your trip. And if it turns out that you want to change something, or that's not really the right fit for you, we just work through that and we come up with something that is appropriate for you and that you like. So that is how you work with me. And then I just book your trip. And if we need to review and adjust things, we do that. And then, you're off on your trip. And then I still support you while you're gone, and I support you till you get back. And if you have any questions after that, I'm still going to support you. So that's how you work with me. I'm also members of a member. I keep saying members because I count my daughter. She's my assistant. She's in college, so she helps sometimes, and other times she's in school. We're also members of the Africa Association of Hospitality Professionals and the Association for the Promotion of Tourism to Africa. So these two organizations are helping to, tie the knot between tourism travel agencies here in the U.S. and abroad in Africa, as well as other countries. So I'll be talking about those organizations at a later date. So last week we talked about Northern Africa, we talked about Eastern Africa a little bit, and we talked about South Africa or Southern Africa. Not South Africa, the country, even though we did touch on it, but the southern part of the African continent. So today we're going to talk about West Africa. So this is just an illustration of West Africa and where Ghana is. So the majority of the enslaved people coming to the Americas came from or through West Africa. Okay, Ghana is right there. It's on the coast. It's between Cote d'Ivoire, Burkina Faso, and Togo. Benin is on the other side of Togo, and on the other side of Benin is Nigeria. So they're close there. So I know I talked to you in a couple of my other videos that I talked about my DNA test, and I have heritage, Nigerian heritage, Ghanaian heritage, and Senegambia heritage. And I actually got connected with a cousin in Nigeria because she took the test in Nigeria. And so our DNA has a match to a relative here in the United States. So that relative came from Africa. I don't know who that relative is. Maybe one day we'll be able to find out. They didn't really keep those types of records. Now, if you're thinking about moving to Ghana specifically, Africa in general, but Ghana specifically because Ghana is the low-hanging fruit. Right now, Ghana is preparing to welcome African Americans to the country. So we still want to set the expectations. We don't want people to think that it's just going to be an easy way. You just jump on a plane and just fly over there and they're going to be like, yay! Here you go. Here's a job. Here's a house. No, it doesn't work like that. It does not work like that. So let's set some expectations here. Okay, what you want to do first, you want to do your research. Do your research. And what kind of research should you do first? Visit Ghana. Visit Ghana. That's the first thing you should do. Second thing you should do, or you should take some time out to do, is visit other African countries before you decide where you want to reside, where you want to just hang up your shingle, or where you want to just park yourself. Visit other African countries. Visit Ghana, of course, but visit other African countries. So I mentioned Togo, Cote d'Ivoire, and Benin because those are the three closest countries on the border, right? So you've got Cote d'Ivoire, which is on, let's see, I can't tell my east from my west, on the east side, and then you've got Benin, Togo is on the, I'm thinking of the right. Okay, so let me go back to that slide because I just had a brain fart just now. Let's see if I can go back. Let's go back. Here we go. Togo is here. That's to the east. Cote d'Ivoire is to the west. That's Burkina Faso there. And then on the other side of Togo is Benin. All right, so now we're back to setting our expectations. What you want to do next is then you've got to build your network. You can't just jump up and fly over there and think everything is going to be all hunky-dory and just all like roses and everything's going to work out. No, right? You need to build your network, and you build your network before you go, right? So you start doing your research, you start joining. They have, that's the great thing about social media these days, is because you can find groups. Try LinkedIn. It's a professional network. You can find groups of people who are either here in the U.S. and in Ghana, where you can find people who can help you and you can get connected. You got to figure out what it is that you like to do, what you want to do, and try to determine how that would translate into the country of Ghana. Because like I said, the country of Ghana is a new country. It's only been around for about, 60 years? What was it, 1957? And that was Kwame Nkrumah was the president, and they became the first African nation to become independent. That means they broke the ties of colonization. So they were the first. So the country is still a fairly young country, and it is definitely growing. So their economy is growing. There's lots of room for you to start a business, lots of room for you to buy land, lots of room for you to do a lot of things. And that's appealing to the younger generation. You also want to consider having multiple streams of income because, like I said, it is a new country. You want to maybe leverage some electronic or digital type work that you do. You know, like what I'm doing right now. People start Facebook groups and start YouTube channels to do sort of self-help things, you know, ministries. You know, there are a lot of things that you could do. You could do some type of teaching. You could, and which I encourage my daughter because she's in college. I'm like, look, go learn to do something that will help you start your own business because she's into writing and stuff like that and journalism. And I'm like, okay, that's good, but learn digital marketing, you know, learn how to market people on their social media, do their social media for them, learn how to do copywriting because people want to start businesses. They need to be online, but they will more than likely need to hire somebody to do that. I'm doing a lot of this stuff myself, so it's tiring, but I have a background in a lot of this stuff. So I actually come from an IT and engineering background, so I do have a little bit of background in some things, the technical stuff, but as far as like the content, like learning how to write content for your social media posts and things like that, and pick your images and size the images, and then you have to hire somebody to do that, to help you with that. I know I do. So think of that. Ways to have multiple streams of income. There are a lot of younger people that these days they're doing day trading, and I am really surprised. I'm on LinkedIn, and these folks are always reaching out to me saying, you know, I could trade for you. I'm like, no, I'm going to learn how to do it myself. That's okay. That's okay. So it's a thing, and people are earning money and doing investments, doing various things. They know how to hustle. The younger generation know how to hustle. Okay, one more thing you probably want to keep in mind is to bring a car. You can transport your car from the U.S. to Ghana. There are some companies, I have some contacts. I'm like really rubbing elbows with some people now to learn how to tie the knot and help people if they do decide to move over there permanently. Bring your car, bring your own car, because even though they do have Uber, it's still a lot of traffic and it's just hectic. Just send your car. Most of us have one already. Send your car over there, ship it over there. So let's see, do your research. Next, manage your money. I said again, bring or buy your own car, or buy it when you get there. But if you've got one, send it over there. And if you have to borrow money to go over there, please borrow wisely. Don't just go crazy going to borrow a whole lot of money at a high interest rate. Because when you get over there, and let's say that you go work for someone, vice stand up a business, and you may want to do that, but it may take a while to stand your business up. The Ghana cedis is not the same, is not equivalent to US dollars. So it's almost, I'll have to check the exchange rate, but it's a lot. You get a lot more Ghana cedis for your dollar. But vice versa, if you have encumbrances or obligations here in the US, do not go borrowing money. Try to save you some money, because the money that you save will take you a lot farther than it will here, number one. And one thing that I did learn, if you're going someplace like Ghana, or even buying things, you actually save if you could just pay for the whole year in advance instead of doing month to month. And in Ghana, I know it sounds crazy, but it is actually possible over there. You can get a decent apartment and pay anywhere from $2,000 a year up to and obscene amount. So, but they do have reasonable housing for people. You can buy a home. They have developments over there. And I was watching one of my favorite YouTubers, Woda Maya, and he is very positive, and he is always traveling all over Africa, showing the world that Africans do not grow on trees. He's like showing the positive side of Africa, and some of the places that he goes, I am just so blown away, because some of the images that we've had from old commercials and these like used to be UNICEF and organizations like that, when they're coming on and they want you to donate for starving children in Africa, and as if sometimes there are places that are war torn because there's things going on over there. They just hone in on that, and that's the only thing they show, and then you get the impression that the entire continent is like that. That's not the case, not the case at all. So I'm trying to change the narrative. He's trying to change the narrative of Africa there. He even has to do with there. And I'm trying to change the narrative here in the US. So, and another thing, don't skip out on your debts, because especially if you owe income tax, Uncle Sam will find you. Just don't do it. Don't just leave thinking you can just drop your debts, right? So an option for you might be to try to find a company that you could work for that has a branch in Ghana, but yet you're still working for an American company, if you know what I mean. That's possible. There are people who do that. And don't close the doors prematurely on when you decide, if you decide to move and you don't have any debts or anything like that, or you come and you decide, I just want to just stay. Don't just cut everything off. Okay, just don't do that prematurely, because you just never know what might happen. Just take your time. There's no rush. They actually have dual citizenship options in Ghana. And just keep in mind, when you go to Ghana, there's a definite culture shift. So slow down. Those of you who are from places like Chicago and New York and big cities where everybody's hustling and bustling and moving fast, slow down. I live in the South, so it was a culture shock for me moving down here many years ago, because I was like, why is everybody moving so slow? I couldn't take it. It was driving me crazy. So slow down. And that's a typo. It's a mindset shift, okay? Complain less. That should be shift. You're going to have to shift your mindset, and you want to complain less, right? I know we tend to complain a lot here, right? But we don't want to do that. We do not want to complain when you go to places like Ghana, right? You don't want to. You want to learn how to slow down, learn the people. It would be actually helpful if you learn the language. You know what I mean? Learn the language. That will be helpful for you. Learn the language. Twi. I hope I'm pronouncing it properly, but it's spelled Twi, right? Learn the language. Even if it's just a few words in the language, you will be surprised at how people there will receive you, because they're very friendly anyway. But just remember, we're not going there looking for a handout. We're looking to make things better, okay? Better. So just remember, we come from a different, in the West, things are different. Things are fast paced. Things are like, you're in the rat race, right? But our economy gives us the opportunity to make more money. And then when we bring those dollars and spend those dollars there, the dollars go longer. So we want to, like I said, we want to shift the mindset, complain less, become a job creator versus becoming looking for a job. All right, so next, start a business. So this is just a little bit about the economy of Ghana, right? It is the second biggest in West Africa. It's got some strong exports like cocoa, gold, and oil. In 2019, the gross domestic product growth was estimated at 7.1%. The Human Development Index has risen by 31% over the past 30 years. So that's significant. So the natural resources that are found over there in Africa are desired all over the globe. So if the motherland and countries in the motherland are inviting us, diasporans, to come back, I think it's a great opportunity to do so and build the country. This is the time to build it. All right. What you want to do next is build your plan, right? You build your network first. You think about these multiple streams of income and try to start a business, right? So think about the things that you're good at. There are actually some resources that I could get my hands on and share if anyone is interested in some of the best businesses to get into if you want to move over to Ghana. So people are actually compiling lists, and the people that went there before us, they're sharing what they learned, the lessons learned that they had, what they made, moving over there. Maybe they didn't think it all the way through. They're actually reaching back and helping other diasporans not to make the mistakes that they did. So there are quite a few young people, diasporan children who've either been born here in the U.S. to African parents, or they came here as a young child and went to college here and all, and decided they wanted to go back, and their parents are here. And then we've got some that just travel all over. Maybe they're from Europe or other places, but they decided they wanted to come back to Ghana. And they wanted to take advantage of the lifestyle, which is more natural. People have gotten away from when I was growing up, and my grandparents used to had a farm. I didn't want to do that. I mean, my mom grew up, my grandfather was a farmer. They were farmers, and my mom left because it was just a very hard life. And then they started with the Department of Agriculture started pulling back on the subsidies they used to give the farmers. So it was just hard to do that. So then the younger generation moved to the cities so they can make a living for themselves. So those big agribusinesses, they're the ones who got the money. And farming now it's making a comeback, actually. So I go to the farmers market almost every Saturday. I didn't go this Saturday because I went last Saturday. So, but I love going there. When the virus hit, our supply chains were interrupted. The food was not, if you remember, and you went to some of the grocery stores, you could find hardly any food or meat on the shelf. That's because the supply chains were disrupted. So the food wasn't making it from the farm with regard to meat to the slaughterhouses. You remember what was going on there. A lot of those places got shut down because of the virus. It went through those places and closed them down because everybody was getting sick, because they were not designed to be really spread out, and they didn't have the best conditions. So that contributed to a lot of people getting sick, and that also happened throughout the supply chain. So we were forced to and I enjoyed it, go directly to the farmers. So the farmers markets will come, and I live in the South, so it's nice. So they come, bring their food, their produce, and their meat, and now they're open, and they're doing more than just those things. They're bringing people who raise plants. They're bringing plants. I bought a couple of plants and actually started a raised bed garden because I'm going to learn how to do it, because it seems like we need to go back and learn how to do some of those skills, especially now with all the preservatives and poisons and that's in the food that's processed. We want to go back to a healthier lifestyle. So think about that. What kind of business would you start? If you're young enough, you might want to go into farming. I mean, people are doing it. It's organic. That is the type of farming that is happening right now. It's like a resurgence of farming. The organic products versus these agribusinesses who use those GMOs, those genetically modified organisms, whether it's the seeds or, they give the feed to the animals, and the animals, when you go to the grocery store and you see the chicken, and the chicken legs are like the chicken legs and wings, they're like huge and they're pale looking and they just look weird and they're like rubbery. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Or, the food has got, they produce, they do something to it so that as they're bringing it to market, it doesn't go bad fast. Those things are taking a toll on our physiology. So next, I'm going to talk about some resources. So there's an ebook, and I have a link in this broadcast. I was on this young lady's class, Bridget Boyaki. Actually, this book was written by both Nana Ashanti and Bridget Boyaki. And check this out. They both, young women, relocated back to Ghana. Their parents were here. They decided they wanted to go back. They had family, but it's just like that family that you didn't really know that well. They came back, and one of them is a teacher at the university on Cape Coast. Nana, she's the Nana Ashanti. She is like a professor there. And Bridget, she is actually a data scientist. So, I'm an IT engineering girl. So, I'm like impressed. So that's what she does. But the two of them have like sort of came together and they do classes. They just finished a class on how to move to Africa, specifically Ghana. This was the ebook that they wrote. They will be packaging that course again. They do the course 2 times a year because they do work, but they're going to do some digital content. And if you buy their course when it's available, then you do get to interact with them because they give you a consultation and they actually help you work through some of these things. So get the ebook. It's called How to Move to Ghana. How to Move to Africa, specifically Ghana. Today was a day, I tell you. Go to the website and then you sign up for the download to download the ebook. It was a nice ebook. It was pretty clear. They touched the high points. They were pretty, rational about it. And today during the class, they talked about networking. I just found out about it, so I missed the other classes, but they'll be doing something going forward. The other book is Moving to Ghana, The Essential Things You Need to Know by Mary Olunye. I know her. Her book is out on Amazon. There's a link to it. It's paperback and on Kindle. She wrote a book on the essential things you need to know about moving to Ghana. She's also a travel operator in Ghana, Nigeria. So she's got operations all over West Africa. So she is one of my partners. And she's here in the US. She goes back and forth. So this is a very good book to get if you're interested in moving to Ghana, the things that you would need to know. And our upcoming trip is the Explore Ghana History, Heritage, and Wildlife Safari Tour. So I'm narrowing it down to November. I believe it's going to be, and people move slow. Like I said, people move slow over there. I'm like, come on, we got to nail this down. But they just started back. But I'm like, come on. But I'm thinking the week of Thanksgiving. And the reason why I'm picking that is because people, when you go to Ghana or go anywhere during the Christmas break, it's more expensive. So I'm going to try to steer clear of the Christmas season because after the first or second week, that's when everything gets skyrockets, the flights skyrocket, all the hotels, everything, the price skyrockets during that time of year. And this time is right before, during the Thanksgiving break, because people can take off during that time. They expect you to take off during Thanksgiving, as well as if we've got some college students, they can take off during that week, because finals more than likely won't be until the second week of December. So the Invest in Ghana, that'll be a future trip. So this is just to whet your appetite. Like I said, I was circling the wagons just a little bit too long. So I decided to, talk about this. Let me do a deep dive into, it's not really a deep dive, but just do sort of an intro to it, and just start talking about it. So, like I said, before I go, I work with you to plan the vacation of your dreams. I design custom travel experiences for you, the types that you're going to be talking about with your family and your friends for years and years and years. If you remember those vacations, I know I remember those vacations with my family when they were young, the children were young. My husband and I, we still reminisce about those trips. And my daughter's a big grown woman now, but I still remember her as like a kid. And my other daughters, I remember them as kids. They have children of their own, but you still remember those times. I also do custom work for you. I customize every aspect of your trip for you. And I do groups. So if you've got an idea that you want to have a church group, or you want to do a birthday party or a reunion or anything like that, just let me know. I actually manage group trips, because group trips can be hard to manage for people who are just a regular Joe. And then you have all your friends and family. You got to worry about the payments, who's paying, who's not paying, who's going now, who's changing their mind. I am the middle person, so I take all of that off of you. So I actually have some electronic tools to take the payments, send reminders, and a optional Facebook group. It's like a pop-up group I set up for all of the groups, so that when there are questions, we can do all the questions in the group. That will take care of asking the same question over and over and over, because if one person has that question, somebody else will have the same question. So what I do is divert all the questions for the groups to the Facebook group, so that only the people who are going on the trip are going to be in this group. So they're private Facebook groups, and then people can ask questions, you can share pictures, have all sorts of fun. And then you team leaders or you group leaders, if you want to do something special in your group, inform your travelers about what's going on, or you want to have special events, the Facebook group would be a perfect place to do that. So, like I said, I take care of all the details, so you can just relax, you can kick back, and you can focus on the fun stuff, like when you actually get on the trip. So that's really all that I had today. Does anyone have any questions whatsoever? Any questions out there in Facebook land, YouTube land? Anybody got any comments, any questions? If you do, #live. And for my replay audience, #replay. So I'm not seeing any questions at this time. So I am going to call it an evening. So that's a wrap. This is Priscilla with Scylla Travel, and I help you live the dream through travel. So I'm going to be saying, have a great rest of your afternoon. Enjoy yourself, relax, get ready for church in the morning if you're going. And just think about Ghana, the upcoming trip. Go to the top. Let's see if I can pull up the website. And I'm over here. Let me see. I'm going to pull up the website. And then I will share the screen with you. Okay, so now Let me add my, not that. Let's see, I'm going to share my screen. Let me find my, there we go. Hang on just a second. Of course, it just never, ever. There we go. Let's share it. All right, so this is my website. Let me maximize that. This is Scylla Travel. That's www.scyllatravel.com. This is my website, and that's the here we go. This is how to work with me. This is where you can request a discovery call. It's free if you want to get on my calendar. It'll take you to my electronic calendar. That's just a little blurb of me and a description of what I do. You can also book a call with me there. We can even do Zoom calls, you know, if you want to. If you don't know me, we can do Zoom calls. So this is the trip right here, and you would go here and you would click on that and you would see the, let's see if it's going to work. Yay, there we go. Here's what the trip looks like. This is the Experience Ghana History, Heritage, and Wildlife Safari Tour. It's 10 days and 9 nights. There's arrival in Accra on day 1, and if there's time, if you get there, or depending on what you're doing when you get in, if there's time, you can maybe go to a short tour. We'll have all those details worked out. And day 2, we'll be doing the Accra city tours. Accra is the capital of Ghana. That's the bustling city, mind you. So if you're looking for a more less, if you're young and you just like the city life, Accra's the place to go. But they do have some suburbs, and they do have some new housing developments on the outside of Accra, like the burbs. That's me. I'm a person in the burbs. I like the burbs. So they're doing some developments. Day 3, we're going to have the central tours. That's the central part of Ghana, where this is the history part, the history and heritage part, where we'll drive to the central region, and we'll be spending nights in some of these towns here. The actual colleges there, where Nana Ashanti works in this region, but this is where the castle is. This is one of, they called it a castle, but it was a factor where in colonial times they built these places so they could manage the people that they captured as slaves to export, and this is where they held them. So we'll be visiting some of those places. That's Elmina Castle. And then we'll go up north to the Ashanti region. This is the north, where we're going to be visiting Kumasi. This is where the Ashanti people are. And we may even meet a king or a chief. Then we have an options for the northern region for the safari and the culture tours, like where they grow the cacao, the shea butter, and they make it, and where they make the kente cloth. That's where we'll be going up to that region. And then the Adatos will be coming right back down near the coast, where there's a resort called Treasure Island. It'll be that resort, it'll be another resort where we'll relax until it's time to go back again. We'll have a free day at the beach on day 9, and on day 10 we'll depart. So that's just a high level of the trip. Of course, when I nail all the details down, these things can change, but this is just a high level. It'll be a variation of these things. So that's just the idea of what we want to do for the trip, what we have planned for the trip, so you get a chance to experience the country, not stay in one place in Accra. You get to visit the various areas. So if indeed you are interested in moving, you will have an idea of what some of these regions have. They're like, there's the beach area, there's like the plains, and you've got the mountains. Very beautiful countryside. It is actually on the equator, so it's always warm year round, and it has the most fertile ground on the planet. So that's really all I have for today. I said that before, but I'm that this time I'm for real. This is all I have for today, and I'm going to sign off. Hope that you guys have just a wonderful, wonderful rest of your weekend. This is Priscilla with Scylla Travel signing off, and have a great rest of your evening.